Hi, Louisiana Realtors. Week 5 at the Capitol saw meaningful movement on several issues that directly impact the real estate industry. House Bill 468 by Representative Troy Hebert, a key part of our legislative agenda, passed the House unanimously 96-0 and now heads to the Senate. The bill creates a clear framework for regulating residential real estate wholesaling, strengthens disclosure requirements, and gives the Louisiana Real Estate Commission enforcement authority, including penalties for violations. That vote margin speaks for itself and reflects strong bipartisanship support for greater transparency and accountability in this market segment. We are also closely engaged on legislation tied to blight, redevelopment, and property rights. House Bill 217 by Representative Chance Henry authorizes an optional property tax exemption for blighted or derelict properties that have been rehabilitated and ties that exemption to local redevelopment plans. This bill passed the House floor by an 84-12 vote and is now moving through the Senate process. Louisiana Realtors supports HB 217 because it creates another tool to encourage redevelopment, return distressed property to productive use, and strengthen communities when implemented responsibly. Louisiana Realtors also supports Representative John Weibel's Bill 284, which would authorize certain parishes and municipalities to address blighted property through a declaration of taking process in limited jurisdictions. House Bill 284 is currently subject to call on the House final passage calendar. While any proposal involving expropriation deserves careful attention, we support the goal of giving communities practical tools to deal with truly blighted and abandoned property that drags down surrounding neighborhoods, depresses property values, and slows local recovery. Insurance remains one of the biggest issues of the session and continues to affect housing affordability and market stability across Louisiana. Lawmakers are working on proposals to reduce premiums, increase competition, and improve the overall insurance climate. The Fortified Roof program continues to generate significant discussion, but Louisiana Realtors and our coalition partners are actively monitoring all avenues to ensure the final result is practical and beneficial for homeowners and the broader real estate market. These conversations remain closely tied to tort reform, which continues to be a major part of the effort to address insurance cost and affordability. We are also monitoring House Bill 673 by Representative Tammy Phelps, which would authorize the state fire marshal to require owners or lessees of abandoned or blighted structures to install and maintain exterior security cameras and retain footage for at least 30 days. Louisiana Realtors opposes this bill because it creates a costly new mandate on property owners without addressing the root cause of blight, and it could create additional liability and compliance burdens for property owners, property managers, and others involved in distressed property. At this time, the bill remains pending in the House Commerce Committee and is slated to be heard this week. We also remain actively engaged on several other priorities within our legislative agenda, including ongoing work on vacant property disclosure and efforts to provide greater clarity on appraiser liability related to carbon monoxide detector requirements. In particular, we are working closely with the Louisiana Real Estate Commission and Representative Kim Carver to position House Bill 1166 in the strongest and most workable posture possible, with a clear focus on protecting Louisiana real estate agents and their clients from unnecessary liability, reducing confusion in the transaction process, and ensuring that any new disclosure requirements are practical, fair, and clearly defined. Our goal is to ensure the final product supports consumer transparency without imposing undue burdens on our members and not exposing agents across Louisiana to unintended risk. As the session continues, Louisiana Realtors will remain focused on protecting consumers, supporting responsible redevelopment, defending private property rights, and advancing sound policy that strengthens the real estate market for our members and the clients they serve. That's our Week 5 legislative recap. Stay tuned for our weekly session scoop blogs on larealtors.org and wrap-up videos on Louisiana Realtors social sites. Louisiana Realtors is the trusted voice of real estate.